1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello?
Hello.
I can't hear me.
You can hear me?
I can't hear. I can see, but I can't hear.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Will we get copyright infringement things about that?
About what?
Going ruh-roh?
Yeah, you're not helping. Well, folks, I can't really tell whether you can hear us or not. It looks like there's definitely audio coming and going, but beyond that, I can't seem to be able to monitor it. With that being said, welcome to another Psychic Sundays Live with the Queen of Ooga Booga herself, Psychic Sally Diane.
Greetings from your Queen of Ooga Booga, that is, and welcome everybody to another episode of Psychic Sundays Live. Now, we were having some audio difficulties right before the show started.
They can hear us.
You can hear us? Oh, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I am so happy this week. Just got the most awesome thing right in this little bag here. Well, actually, the bag was a gift from my cousin. He's the one that wrote Sally on it. But in the bag is something else. Runes. I made some runes last year, and basically it's one of those things that you forget about them and then they come back around. And I made 9 sets of these runes. And look at them, folks. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? And they are made from a clay that has kyanite in it. And of course, anybody that knows about crystals knows that kyanite is really good for spiritual protection and to repel evil and to keep the runes nice and clean. And also, you'll notice that the clay has little speckles in it. Let me see if I can see, like right here. It's got these little speckles in it. Great House Pottery had mixed up the clay special for me with the kyanite and the little speckles in it. So I'm just so excited. So I will be using them tonight, them and the cards. And I'm just going to give you all a choice. Anybody who wants me to do a rune cast for them instead of the cards, just ask. And if nobody asks, I'm just going to start reading the runes. I can't wait to use them. But this isn't about me. This is about you. So what is our first question?
Hi, Sonia. She would like to know about her disability.
Sonia, it's so good to see you. Would you like a rune reading?
We can wait for 10 to 15 seconds to get the answer, or you can just do one. She's going to... it's going to court. She's looking for a court decision on her disability case.
Oh, the runes are great for that. And these are brand new. I'm really energized. I'm the one that made them, so I energized them all the way along the line. Sonia's court case. I'll just grab a bunch and throw them out there and see what... Okay. So one of the things I see is Ansus here. And Ansus is an ancestral god. So that tells me that your ancestors are watching out for you there. That's a good sign. It does mean that spirit's on your side. But it's not lost on me that it's turned a little bit sideways. So make sure that whatever prayers you say them before court. And go to court in as positive, non-negative of a state of mind as you can be. Let's see what's underneath you. Okay, and not everything's going to come out in court. It says that not all the secrets are going to come out, but enough of them are going to spill out to shine a little bit of light on the whole topic. Yes. You've got money coming in here, and it looks to be a godsend. The only thing I see wrong with it is it hasn't grown up as big as you'd like it to. But if that's the worst thing, it really says that, this is a gift from heaven. This is Algus, and this is about, blessings coming down on you. And Fehue is about prosperity, it's about resources, but because it's upside down, it tells me that the resources aren't as big as they could be, but they're there. And this one kind of went over there, so I'm going to take that as your final outcome. Nice, nice. You've got a rune called Berkana, and Berkana is kind of about fertility and prosperity. So it looks like things are going to go very well for you. Just don't put your expectations too high, and you'll do great. Make sure to say your prayers before you go to court.
Awesome. Our next question is from, let me get this right, Shrutni. And she wants to talk to Prabhu to find out what he's thinking about her. And that's where we're going to leave that. And the next question is, hi, Ava. She wants to have a rune reading.
I would love to give you a rune reading. Okay.
Sorry, folks. We are no longer going to be answering what does he or she think about me. If you want to know that, ask that person. Period. The end. End of story.
Yes, and learn to make eye contact. Learn the art of communication, and carry a light blue stone of some sort with you, whether it's aquamarine, a blue topaz, or a turquoise, just to open up the channel of communication, so then you don't have to second guess what somebody's thinking about you. And Eva wants a rune reading, just a general rune cast, Eva, with my brand new runes. Okay, Eva's, oh boy, big handful want to come out. Okay, so these two were just falling. Okay, and what you've got is you've got Ingus and you've got Thegas. So you've got homeland and you've got change. So there's some big changes coming up around you and your home. And this feels like maybe, yeah, the concept change of ownership comes up, but I don't really see this as being an uprooting or anything. I think it's more or less on the book sort of thing. This one right here, and this rune is Nothus, and Nothus talks about constraint. It's about the rune that says you have to slow down a bit somewhere to provide for the needs of the future. And this is your descriptor here, and it says right though. And yeah, right though. And this is translated to be red wagon, which talks about car. So this says save up for something surrounding your vehicle over the winter. So make sure you've got a little emergency fund in case your car decides to break down. You've got Kenaz, but Kenaz feels, it just feels like it might be a little low energy here. Make sure that you're not only provided with your vehicle, but make sure that you have a generator on the farm. I know you live out in the country, and it seems like there's this problem with energy, and with the winter coming up, that tells me we might be looking at power issues there. Oh, nice. You've got Suelu, and Suelu is the sun, and you're a tarot reader, so you're familiar with what sun means. It means that there's a period of lightness coming into your life, and this feels more like maybe February or March. It feels like a time when you're really getting aware that the light has returned, and the sun's starting to get stronger and melt the snow, and with that, it seems to bring brighter days. So I don't think it's going to be kind of winter with a little bit of need and a little bit of trying to take care of little annoyances and little emergencies. But once early spring rolls around, I do mean early spring, late February, early March, things are going to start looking up for you. And when they look up for you, they look up really quick. And it started out with the home, and it ends with the home. And this Othello is homeland, and it does talk about actual home and property. And this kind of assures you that you will be able to stay are. Yeah, yeah. This one says, and it talks about, again, you get this ancestor one, and I think that this might be some of the older folks in the family, you know. So there's this feeling of learning to compromise with them a little bit, and there's this idea of understanding, and it's sideways, but it says that around the home you can get everything that you're looking for. You just have to understand how to do the give and take. To get Gabu, and I just get that, you know, be balanced about it. So overall, this looks like a pretty good reading. It's so nice to talk to you, Eva.
Hi, Chloe. We haven't forgot about your question. It's just, you know, we can only answer one at a time. All right, so we'll get to you.
I'm being chatty. So who's next?
Chloe.
Hi, Chloe. It's nice to see you.
All right, now I gotta scroll for that question. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Chloe. Oops. Okay, so this card flipped.
What is coming in this week for me? Chloe 49.
Okay, and when I was thinking about you, this card flipped up, and it's the page of of wands. So this is a good week for you to be looking for little opportunities, and it just feels like it feels like a little matchstick as opposed to a big one. It feels like this is a week where you can look around and just make it, not make a new situation, but make your current situation sweeter. So let's see what's coming up for you this week. That was just a bonus card. I'm glad that it started out talking about opportunity, because this middle card talks about gossip. It says be very careful about getting pulled into gossip. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy because it gets, you know, it's just so titillating, isn't it, to find out the news about this person and that person. But it's surprising how quickly it can backfire on you. So be very cautious and avoid the gossips. Yeah, this is definitely not a week to press your luck. It feels like, it feels like there's a big possibility for miscommunication, and it's better that it's on somebody else. You know, somebody else is miscommunicating, not you. So stick carefully, but look for opportunities. And the most positive thing about this week is your ability to stay on your feet no matter how turbulent things get. And it feels like sometimes you can be the strong one, the port in the storm, and that's what they really like about you. And so I'm seeing you kind of keeping everybody else balanced. Good on you. Good on you. And I've said it before. When things are turning around, there's always opportunity there. Be looking for your opportunity, but be very, 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 very careful not to get caught up in the crap that's going around. All the negative people, all the gossipers, no matter how good their gossip is, run like a rabbit from them this week. Okay, the next question. And I am so happy to do a rune cast for anybody who asks.
Well, that's what we're going to do right now.
Awesome.
Least Love Peace would like a rune reading, just a general purpose one.
Okay, for Love Peace. What an awesome name. Every old hippie likes that name. Okay, and let's see which one kind of ran sideways. Okay, Gnosis kind of ran sideways, and that talks about providing for the needs of the future. And that's kind of a side issue that you best serve yourself by maybe setting up a side account or savings account, or just doing anything that provides a little bit more for you, the tomorrow you. Okay? But when I look at this rune reading, even though you've got Isa here, and that's at the base, so this is telling me about what's happening to you over the winter, because Isa is ice.
but it tells me that even though winter is cold, over the winter, it looks like you're having a steaming hot time. You've got torch and sun. So things, even, it's cold outside, but your life is literally on fire in a good way, It looks like there's changes, there's changes coming up around the home. This is a good time for you to make it work to your advantage. Don't resist change, because sometimes when change comes, it's going to beat you over the head if you try and resist it. Let's see what the two side thoughts are here. Okay, so when it's time to make a little bit of a move in the area of home, whether this is making changes around the home, because it doesn't feel like an actual move. It feels more like changing around the purpose of rooms around the home. This works out very well for you. It looks like your vehicle might make it through the winter. It looks like it's going to exceed its life expectancy. Nice. And there's a foundation of a relationship being built here, and it's going to strengthen over the winter. So when springtime comes around, you're doing very well. You've got this. This is called Manas. It's called the Hug Rune, because it talks about two-way success, which is the best relationships ever. And I see that happening for you. And thank you so much for asking for a rune reading.
Okay, well, let's see who's next.
Okay. So, as all of you know, I've been reading This Week in Donald Trump, and I'm going to do another one after my live broadcast. So that should be up probably tomorrow sometime. But instead of looking at just This Week in Donald Trump, I'm going to look at him on 3 levels. I'm going to look at him on the short term, which would deal with the election issues, and then the near future, which would go into the transition, and then the distant futures to see what's on the horizon for him. Just because some of the things I see happening around Trump, I really think that, I think that he's going to leave the country.
If anybody has a question, please type it up. I got so lost in the comments. They scroll by so fast, I can't actually keep up. It's a lot of chit-chat going on there. That doesn't help. I love it, though.
Yeah, my producer just turned 50. And as soon as he hit 50, boy, he starts getting the memory problems. Wow. It's the 50s. So anyhow, while he's looking for the comment, I've noticed that I am not the only reader that gets this sense that Donald is looking outside of his national borders for a spot to go after the election is done, which is typical of him, because he never pays a price for any of his misdeeds. It's those around him that do. And it's going to be the same this time. Those around him will fall. He will get off. Anyhow, sorry to be negative there, folks. Who's next?
I don't know. I have to restart my phone. You're live, so keep saying. Keep going.
Oh, keep on going. Okay, so my guess is that Marcy is here, because I know Marcy watches me. So Marcy, I am going to do a reading for you. I am looking so forward to seeing you next weekend at the event. We're all just excited. We'll be doing a dry run this weekend on the event, and then on the 6th and 7th, we're going to do the Ghost of the Queens event. Oh my goodness, I'm so looking forward to the seance and the ghost walk and everything else, and the pajama party. Should be a really good time, and we will be putting up videos.
All right, yes, Marcia's here.
Oh.
Haunting wants to know about their past weekend that they just came back from Sarnia. They went to a native cemetery, and they felt like there were some stones missing, as if that there was supposed to be more grave markers than actually were visible. And Lisa, this is for you. If you want to know how Dad feels about you, ask him.
Okay, so Haunting Live. I got the three of coins as the center card, and it dawns on me that you've got this. You've got what looks just without my glasses on, the shape of it almost reminds me of a tombstone, and there's this person on top. I think that you caught the attention of a spirit while you were there. He was sending messages. I hope you got them. Yes, there's at least 3 missing gravestones, and this was done on purpose. There was a plan to that. So I don't know whether we're hiding a piece of history or hiding somebody's shame. The word shame rings out there. So yes, you got that one right. When you go back, see, I didn't say if, but when you go back, make sure that I know you always put the white light around you and everything, but make sure you're double, triple protected when you go there. Yeah, just because I'm worried about the one that's trying to get your attention. I don't get a good vibe off of it. Anyhow, what an exciting weekend you had, and you did have an encounter. You're going to have to tell me about it.
All right. Well, that's it. All the questions we have.
Okay. So, on to the runes. I have 8 sets of these. I'm keeping mine. But I have 8 sets of these that I have a booklet that will be published, that will be ready by the end of the week, and I will put them up for sale on Facebook. If anybody is interested in buying one of the sets of runes, let me know. And I haven't made the bags for them yet, but I really like this bag right here. So I'll have to ask my cousin where he got it, because this bag is just perfect for the runes.
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I always look to him. You know that? I always do. So, I talked about the runes, and we have the party coming up. And I didn't get to read Marcy yet. Marcy, do you want a rune reading or a card reading?
Why don't we get back to Marcy? We got a newbie here. Rosemary.
Rosemary. What is Rosemary?
Oh, we definitely want to get Rosemary. She lives in the toss-up state of Arizona.
Oh, my goodness, Rosemary. We're double masked.
Rosemary wants to know about her cousins in Michigan after they lost their mother this past January.
I am so sorry to hear that. That's, even if you see it coming for years, it's just never an easy transition to lose your mom.
You're welcome, Love Peas.
Pardon?
No, never mind. Just keep going.
Okay, so Rosemary, you show up as the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is motivated. She's a high energy person, and that is you. You're fiery, so Arizona is a good spot for you. It shows me how you care, because you were talking about your cousins. And when I look at this card, she's holding a little kitten in her lap. And that's kind of how you feel about your cousins, like they're your babies almost. And then, of course, that would be natural because you've known them from childhood. But then I noticed that there's a lion here, and that tells me that they're not kids anymore, even though you care and love for them like children. I really worry about, you have the 5 of Cups, not well aspected. And one of the things about the Five of Cups is resources and happiness being poured out. But the positive side of the Five of Cups is that there's always some left. And so this is a time when, instead of looking at what life has taken from you, take stock of what you have left. And then the positive side, the positive side is the Ten of Coins. And the Ten of Coins talks about a well-grounded financial situation. And so there is good financial grounding and good financial potential around you as the positive thing. You show up as being a very strong woman. With your cousins, I see how much you care for them. And I know you can't heal them entirely, because that's the process that takes time. But do let them know how deep your love goes. You're a very loving person, and I think they need to know that right now. And thank you. Thank you. Tune in every week. Remember to subscribe and tell your friends.
The bags are from Len's Mills.
Are they?
Okay, Marcy wants a card reading, and she also has a question about Melania. Will Melania leave the Donald?
No. No. You know, you see her smacking his hand away and everything, and you think that she hates him. She doesn't. They are, well, in love, as much in love as two empty vessels of people can be. They are both similar creatures. I think she's a little smarter than him. No, she's not going to leave him. She's going to outlive him. That's her plan.
And you put the bag and the loops down. It looks really weird on camera.
It looked like I had a rabbit on the table.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Okay, so.
Hi, Suzanne.
Oh, nice to see you, Suzanne. Okay, so. Yeah, you got your tickets all bought for Florida, don't you? Don't you just love it? Like, right before you go away on a vacation, right? That, like, the day of the vacation, once all the hassle's gone and the vacation actually starts. Don't you just love that little honeymoon period? I see that happening for you and hubby. In the middle is a Page of Swords, and you are a very patient person. I see that. But there is somebody sorely trying your patience. And it's kind of like this needy child kind of energy. And I know you not only want to turn around and snap, you're really trying hard not to turn around and snap. You're going to turn around and snap at this person. You're going to lose it on them. And that's actually the best thing you can do, even if you make this person cry. You know, I have the King of Swords, but he's in a bad aspect here. Plus that, he's upside down. And I wonder who around you is not telling you everything. You know, it just feels like there's somebody around you who's hiding their feelings to spare your feelings. And it might not be the healthiest of situations. So if you get that sense, and you've got some really good spidey sense, start poking and make whoever's got issues tell you what their issues are. Don't take it's all good or everything's fine. The positive thing about you, the most positive thing, and the thing I love most about you, Marcy, is that intuition. Marcy is just so gifted, and that's very much around you right now. And your intuition is not something you should ignore. It's telling you a few truths about people around you, and you need to listen. Anyhow, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you.
Marcy says, yes, people are driving me nuts about not going to Florida. Some are so mean.
Yeah. Make them cry.
And an update from Suzanne about her dad, Ernie. He's back in Burlington.
Good.
He was ill, and he's doing so much better now.
I am so glad to hear that.
And she misses him already. And he will not have a question for you tonight.
He will not have.
No, he will not have a question for you tonight. I don't think he's there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Ernie, I am so glad that you are doing better. I really am. Anybody, and
okay.
While we have a little lapse in time, I'll tell you everybody how to get a reading from me.
No, that's fine. We don't have a lapse in time. I just have to let me read them. So Suzanne wants a general reading, and Lisa wants a general rune reading.
Okay, so we'll do Suzanne, and then we'll do Lisa's rune reading. Okay, rune cast. Okay, Suzanne, and what's going on with Suzanne right now? Suzanne's got the star, so this is a week for you to really ask for what you want, because the star is about dreams come true. The star is about daring to dream, daring to hope, daring to wish, daring to ask. What works against you? Hesitation. Always hesitation. Don't worry. Don't wring your hands or anything like that. This is a week for you to go for what you want without hesitation. And positively aspected, you've got the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is about, aces are usually about new beginnings. And with the Ace of Cups, it's new beginnings in the area of emotions. And I know that you've had, what this tells me, it feels like a new beginning in an existing relationship. Sometimes you make your peace with people, and this shows that in a relationship that may have been a little bit questionable or maybe on thin ice, I see a renewal here. I see a truce. I see a return of friendship, a return of love. The only thing that bothers me, the only thing that I see wrong, there's always positive and negative. The only thing that's wrong is you've got this Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is about defensiveness, but it's also about staying in situations too long. So that idea of moving slow and cautious, it might not benefit you this week. You remember that when you look at the star, which is your center card, which is your base card, she pours out freely with both hands. And this says that you can wish, you can dream, you can reach freely this week. So express what you want freely and openly. And thank you so much for being here every week. And I'm so glad you're doing better, Ernie. I hope someday you decide to get a Skype reading with me. And we have a rune reading, a rune cast for Lisa.
Yes.
And Lisa. There we go. There it is. So right in the center, Lisa, you've got Berkana. You've got a period of fertility coming into your life.
Hold it up.
Oh, Berkana, and it looks like a Fred Flintstone bee, and it does talk about fertility. It's associated with the goddess of fertility, so it does talk about a growing period of your life. If you're trying to get pregnant, this is a good time to try and get pregnant. If you're trying to grow your money, it's a good time to find a high growth place to put it. But this idea of fertility and growth, this is what's going on for you right now. So underneath you have Fehu, which is wheat, and over you have Isa, which is ice. And this tells me that this is, with these two together, this is a great time for you to start new projects, or, you know, plant your seed, if you will, and start thinking about making plans and getting things, all your ducks in a row for stuff in the spring. Because that Isa shows up, and so it's like, get yourself ready over the winter. And then when you get into spring, you know, this is Thor's ass. It's Thor's hammer, but it's turned a little sideways, which, you know, it tells me that you've got a high energy situation coming up, but it's nothing that you can't handle. And you also have Jera. So you start out this period of your life, and it feels like this goes from now maybe until about May. You start out, this is a time for you to plant and plan. But when you get into next spring, you're going to find that you reap the rewards of what you do now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and tell all your friends.
Hi, Jordan. If you've got a question, just go ahead and type it out.
Nice seeing you, Jordan. And I'm so glad so many of you are asking for the rune cast. I'm really enjoying using these chatty little runes. They're brand new and good to go.
Yep. And they're super tiny and don't show up well.
Oh, I know, but they're little, but they're atomic.
Oh, no, that's
atomic,
okay.
You know,
We'll get that. We'll get that for next year. I'll put up a third camera.
Yeah, I'll just be surrounded by cameras. At least I'm remembering to look into it a little bit more. I don't look to the side as much as I used to, I hope. So, who's next?
Well, nobody.
Nobody
At all. You know what? I've been seeing the Stratford Museum has been putting up historical pictures and stories of various things around Stratford. And earlier this week, there was one on the Queen's Inn giving historic details to the best of their records about all the ghosts and goings-on at the Queen's Inn in Stratford, Ontario.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're going to be there, not this coming weekend, next weekend, the weekend of November 6th and 7th. And we're going to have all sorts of fun, including pajama parties, seances, readings, lectures. It's going to be really, really fun.
Yes, and right now we are...
Yes, Ava, you can ask a second question. I'm surprised you asked.
Okay, Ava, what question would you like? What would you like to know? He lost you again.
No, she hasn't answered yet.
She hasn't answered yet. Okay. I got my cards out.
Well, just keep shuffling them until 3 fall out, and that's her reading.
You know, I've had these cards forever. I've had these cards almost as long as I've known Eva. And I remember...
Really?
Yeah, I've had them that long. And so I remember one time I was doing a reading with them, and she picks one of the cards up and she goes, "There's schmutz there." Yeah, I spent the next day going through there and scraping all the schmutz off my cards.
That's mean.
That's Eva.
Whoever sold you dirty cards?
You know, I've had these cards for, it's got to be 1993. So that's almost 30 years.
1993.
Yes,
I was still flunking out of college.
Well, my sisters found these cards at a Renaissance fair, and my one sister bought the deck, and then they saw this silk bag that looked like it went with the deck, and it did, because it had one of the cards sewn to the front of it, and I used that bag until it was literally in pieces.
And I forgot about that bag. That's why I didn't remember how old those cards were.
Yes. And I bought this piece of silk. I bought it from a fabric store in Royal Oak called Haberman's. They are just, the fabric is so expensive and they're so snobby. It's wonderful. It's an absolutely wonderful place. And I bought this nice silk brocade. I bought 1/4 meter of it and promised the cards that I would make a bag for them. And I still waited 3 years until I finally made the new bag for them.
Hi, Gita.
Hi, Gita. Okay, Eva, you were asking for a
Yes,
reading.
Gita, you can have a reading. Just type your question.
Okay, Eva. Dead center, I see the Knight of Cups. This feels like a young man. And so there are some projects coming up and this feels like maybe it's your nephew. It feels like it's somebody that you've worked with before. But these are projects that produce money. So this is a good thing. Now the Fool shows up on the negative side, but you know how I feel about the Fool. And I'm sure you do too. It's just such a positive card. And the thing that I think works against you, because they're drawing my eye to the little lion on the Fool's leg, is that the one thing that works against you may be your certain mobility issues that you're dealing with right now. So it's good that you have this helper. And you're going in his direction, so you're looking. The two of you are looking at each other. So this is a good partnership. And the positive thing, and this one halfway flipped over for you before, the King of Cups, and the King of Cups, and there's a little girl behind it. I think that this is your dad coming through. And I know it's been a long time, but it feels like something has happened to really open up that channel of communication. So again, thank you, Eva. Thank you.
Gita wants to know the outcome of an argument that she had with R. And I know it's a she because guys don't ask these questions.
She says an argument, but she didn't slug him, so. I'm just kidding. I do not endorse violence. I just think I'm funny.
And once a week she threatens to burn down the bed with me in it.
Maybe. So, Gita, you wanted to know about the argument you had with
R.
With R, and these two cards fall out. The Knight of Cups, ill aspected, and the Knight of Cups could be he can be sweet, but he can also be sort of selfish and overly emotional. And of course, he's upside down, so that tells me he was wrong. And here you are, the Queen of Coins. And you see how she's holding the coin up. And so this tells me that you're right. The only thing to worry about here is when I look at the two of this particular dynamic between the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like we have someone who's very childish and somebody who tends to be more balanced and mature. The Queen of Cups, of course, the Queen of Coins, of course. And that just tells me that in this situation, even though you are right, as usual, you're probably going to have to be the adult. Let's see what oh, gee. Yeah, the cards say he's lucky you love him. I'm just going to leave it at that, Gita. I'm sorry you have to be the adult again, but...
Haunting Life seems to think I've had 2 strikes today.
Okay,
I
well,
guess a half a strike by the him Han over there.
okay, so yeah, I'd say half a strike. So you still got 2.5.
All right. I got 14 minutes to tick people off.
Uh-oh. Rut-row. we had that discussion about saying rut-row.
I'm pretty sure that's not copyrighted.
Okay, good. I like saying that.
It'd be like, how would you copyright be very quiet? We're watching rabbits.
Oh, yeah, be very, very quiet. Oh, dear. We have all kinds of rabbits in our backyard. And I swear, you know how you get songs stuck in your head?
You're welcome, Gita.
One day I got that Elmer
Sure, we can do a reading
song
for
about
Rhea.
the rabbit. Oh, Maria?
Faria.
Faria.
Yes. How about we just do a general reading on that person?
A rune reading?
Sure, if you want.
Sure, I want to do a rune reading.
They just asked for a reading. Nothing specific,
My
no
new
questions.
choice. Okay, so Faria. Now these runes, the first 3 are upside down, so you're just seeing the other side of them. So that tells me that for the next month or so, you've kind of got a period of quiet in front of things. I've got a feeling that they say still waters run deep, so there is stuff going on behind the scenes. This is a good time while things are quiet for you to just go over the books and make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and make sure everything's tickety-boo. You've got I was here, and I was is the rune of the hunter. It's associated with having the courage to go out and look for what you want and finding it successfully. And this is a good time for you to figure out what you want to be when you grow up and go after it. You've got change on your side. This little bow tie looking one. Thagaz is about, it translates day, but it says that when things change, it can change really fast. And also here, when I look ahead, you've got love. This is Legus. This is lake. And it does talk about coming into a period where love works out better for you. You also have Jera, which is the harvest. And Jera talks about the stuff that the seeds you've been planting, the opportunities that you've been setting up for yourself will start coming back around. So, basically your ship's coming in. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, it's that time of day and night on a Sunday where we do a reading for Ontario.
Just Ontario.
Well, Ontario and Canada, but
Ontario.
Specifically people want to know about COVID because we've had such an increase in cases in Ontario and throughout Canada. And some people are worried about how this is going to affect the holiday season and Christmas, because people want to go out shopping and stuff like that and get together with their friends and families if they're still talking to anybody.
Okay, so this week in Canada. Okay, so see the baseline. And you asked about the COVID. It feels like over the next week, and we're coming into a spike, and it is overwhelming our healthcare system. So it looks like this week, basically, we're going to be looking at ways to make more beds. Basically putting emergency plans into place and really bringing together the different communities that we need to bring together to handle this emergency, because the different skill sets, bringing them together. I think that some of the political discourse and the tendency to be adversarial is spilling over into Canada, because I'm seeing an awful lot of childish behavior. An awful lot of, instead of let's deal with the problem now, we're going to play the blame game. You should have. I hear that being said a lot. You should have done X, Y, Z. You should have. That doesn't solve anything. And it does keep us from making the progress that we need to make this week in dealing with the COVID. I hate to see petty arguments taking hold like that. Okay, so this talks about the near past. This talks about the things that have happened that have led to this spot right here. And you've got the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is about, restrictions and choosing not to move forward. So this is about how we've been careful so far, even though we're having a spike. We're kind of a little freaked out because we were so careful. We did use masks. We did social distance. Why are we having this spike? Nice. At the end of the week, which we really need some good news, we get good news about medicines. And I'm not sure whether this is a new COVID drug or whether it's good news about the vaccine. It feels like it's good news about the vaccine. And better yet, it's the vaccines that we've got the contracts for. So, like I said, there's this political infighting going on. We are sick of it. There's the politicians starting to bicker amongst themselves, and the constituency saying, basically speaking up. So us Canadians are going to be vocal. And I say that because when we look ahead, we see things coming out and different factors working together much better under the moon. It's not lost on me that we are coming up into a full moon. So this might tell me that by the time Halloween rolls around the 31st, that you're going to see things calming down and them working together a little bit more. It just takes a while. There's got to be the blame and the chest thumping when it's politics, right? And you did want to know about the holiday season. We are going to manage to get this under control by the end of November. So, woo-hoo! Just in time for Christmas. Woo! There's that idea where it says, where the politicians say, you know what? You can go home for Christmas. You can get, have little get-togethers. And you have the Four of Swords, and it's like when I look at this, I see us, I see Canada, Ontario, working in a direction to fix things. But I don't see the same thing happening down south. Because it says right here that we're going to put another month's extension on the border closure. Okay, and so that is This Week in Canada. We'll pull one more card. Nice. You've got the Sun and the Knight of Wands, and I see that these past couple weeks is that I feel so bad for Doug Ford because it's kind of like everything he's done has just been, he's had to really sacrifice a lot in order to do the right thing. At the end of this week, he finally gets the credit he's deserved. So this ends up being a good week for Doug Ford. Okay, thank you everybody for.
What? Before we get closing here, we have time for one last question, for one last reading.
One last reading. Oh, good.
Christy wants a reading. No question, just a general reading.
Okay, and that's Kirsty.
No, that's Christy.
Christy. Okay. Christy. And what's coming up for Christy? Just a quick little 3-card general reading. Okay, so you have the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is, it's about, I want to get this right. It's about people being unkind, and it's reversed. So this tells me that this, you have in your circle, you have people who choose to be unkind, and this card right here says, don't get involved in that. It does not feel like this is coming from you, Christy, but it does feel like you have people around you that just like saying unpleasant, nasty things. And you need to put some distance between you and those people. That's the most healing thing you can do for yourself. Because negative people are drawing away from your happiness. And just the very fact that a card is positive as a 10 of coins shows up in your reading, anywhere in your reading, it talks about the potential you have for a stable life with good roots. So don't waste your time on people who aren't part of having a stable life with good roots. Also, the 10 of coins can talk a bit about money. We always want to know about the do-re-mi. Money-wise, there's some changes you can make. So I just get this idea of multiple streams of income, which I swear by, but it just feels like you're getting your money from one spot, and you need to set up something where you have an outside gig where you're getting your money from a second spot, just to get yourself some independence, and also to get yourself a little bit more well-grounded financially without being dependent on anybody. Woohoo! And positively aspected is the Ace of Cups. That too is a very, very positive card. It talks about new beginnings. It is a card that's sometimes associated with birth, so it makes me wonder if maybe you're looking to get pregnant. If you are, this is a good time to try. But it looks overall you're on a good path. If all you need to do is clear the shelf of, put some distance between you and some negative people, that should be dead easy, and it will reward you. And thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again next week. All of you, tune in again next week for another episode of Psychic Sundays Live with your queen, Sally Diane, and her producer.
That would be me.
Before I let you go, I'm still looking for some palms so I can do another palm reading video. Those of you who would like a free palm reading from me, send me a picture of your left hand and your right hand. Make sure I get your whole hand, your fingers, your thumb, and this part of your hand right here. And I like it to be good and clear so I can see all the lines. Don't hyperextend your hand like that, because then I don't see your lines. You relax a little like that, and I see all the lines and the mounds. And I'd like your left hand and your right hand. And if you want to, give me your date of birth. And when we do your readings, I will send you an email. Also, anybody who wants a reading from Sally Diane, call the spa near the tracks here in Stratford for an in-person reading. I'm available every other weekend, and during the week sometimes. Also, if you're out of town or you prefer a Skype reading, then just send me a private message. Send me an email to thequeenofboogabooga@gmail.com and ask to set up a Skype reading. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. Tell all your friends, and tune in again next week for Psychic Sundays Live with your Queen of Ooga Booga.
One more week before Hallmark Christmas movies start.
This week in the dawn.
Okay.
But I want you to let's do
No.
no.
No, let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Tell me when you're ready.
I will.
Give me the countdown.